What's up, guys? It's Matt Jackson and Clay Smith, and we are the Wash Bros. Thanks for tuning in this Sunday, August 3rd. It's going to be the first weekend of August. It's going to be episode 26. So thanks for sticking with us as we have doing these weekly shows. It's really grown a lot, and we've been able to help a lot of people here. But Clay and I were talking about what should the topic of today's episode be, and we kind of came to the conclusion of like, what would happen if social media died? What would happen if you get on your phone and you can't log into Facebook and the app's been deleted or it's been banned or you can't post your business anymore? Like, are you able to survive? So many people live off of social media recommendations and posting in neighborhood groups, and their business consists of like social media. So are you able to be a business outside of social media if it died? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about: deeper level marketing, figuring out how to go about things and not just live in this digital world that we live in. So you want to kick this thing off, Clay?
I'll do the honors as always. Yes, sir. Super excited about this one. I have a lot of guys in my business type group, I guess, that I talk to every once in a while. They're always talking about, I don't need to advertise. I don't need to spend money to advertise. I don't need to market my company. I'm busy enough as it is. But are you really busy? Everybody has different levels of busy. So my busy could be your slow, or my slow could be your busy. Who knows? Like, what is busy to you, I guess. So, absolutely. I was talking to Matt before we started airing this, and the biggest thing is think about MySpace. MySpace is gone. Facebook became the bigger and the better thing. Twitter, it's also known as X now. I personally don't use Twitter as much as I used to. It's kind of trended away, I feel like, but people are still using it. They're using it for marketing, like all your famous people and all that. And then Facebook, Facebook kind of is what it is. So I kind of like to just stay on top of the trend. I like to make sure that my business is everywhere. If you're riding down the road, what do I need to do to make sure that you're thinking about my company? If you're in a restaurant, what do I need to do to make sure you're thinking about my company? If you're scrolling your phone, what do I need to do to make sure you're thinking about my company? Whatever you're doing, you want to make sure the consumers that you're targeting are thinking about your company. And they're not going to be thinking about your company if you're just on Facebook, or you just did Sally's yard work or pressure washing yesterday. She may tell her friends and family, but you want everybody to know. You don't want to just be on Facebook. Because I mean, there, believe it or not, there are a lot of people that don't have their phone in their hands and they're not relying on Facebook, and they're not caught up in the social media world. So just get a little aggravated every time. Sometimes I hear people talk about, oh, I don't need to advertise. I just use Facebook free advertising. Facebook could be gone tomorrow. I mean, this is a real thing.
Exactly right. And also, what happens when somebody new comes into your area and is offering free house washing if they can just post a picture of you on social media or for word of mouth? Like, you're competing with the bottom of the barrel when you're on social media. I personally do a lot of social media stuff, but I'm not posting in groups as much. I'm more using it to like spread brand awareness through ads and all that kind of stuff. So I use social media for the sharing of videos, sharing of our team, kind of building that brand presence. But I don't get a huge return on investment that I can measure off of that. That's more of an overall brand thing where people say, "Oh, I see you on Facebook," and then they see me, like Clay says, at Panera Bread, maybe in my wrap truck, and then they see me around town or they see me at a neighbor's house. So it's just a touch essentially. So we talk about with marketing, there's touches. How many times does a customer see you? That's considered one touch. So if they see you on social media, they may discover your brand, see your brand, say, hey, that's recognizable, that's cool. They see you again at their neighbor's house cleaning. That's another touch. You're bringing that kind of proof. Oh, I saw that guy online. Now he's in my neighborhood. There's value there. And then lastly, like what we like to do, we're on social media, or we're on Google. If they search pressure washing near me and then you pop up with a lot of reviews, that may be that third touch that's necessary for them to say, I'm going to pull the trigger on this guy because I know him. So we need to use social media as a tool, but not be so heavily reliant upon it, because algorithms change, groups change, rules change. You could be the number one guy recommended in a group. You get busy. Clay and I were talking about this. Your business shifts. You evolve into more on-field stuff or going after different types of projects. You don't have time to jump on every single Facebook request like you did back when you first started, or there's somebody new who's hungrier than you there, and then you're going to run into issues, and that guy's going to be king of referrals in that group. So we kind of joke, it's like if you're king of referrals in Facebook groups, you're probably not doing that much, because if you're able to spend that much time in these groups just kind of being trigger fingers trying to be everybody's favorite person, are you really spending the time in your business to grow your business outside of just that one tiny little area of Facebook? Because social media lies. Anybody can put on an appearance of like, look at me. In these Facebook pressure washing groups, a lot of people talk about coaching and gurus. These guys can be gurus because they can lie about their image and lie about the numbers, and nobody's questioning them. Their businesses more times than not consist of tricking other fellow washers online that they're somebody they're not, versus actually growing their business. So usually I find the guys that are more low key on social media, they may have systems in place like we do with ads and with a virtual assistant helping us post there. They're folks focused on building their business in the real world and not just on social media.
Yeah, you definitely got to be worried about the right things and not the wrong things. There's a lot of people, like Matt said, they're just throwing out fake personas. They're just pretending to be somebody they're not in real life, and then the people that actually know them are probably sitting back and like, what? Who does this guy think he is, or what? He's living this fake life on the internet, and people will notice that, and that's why me and Matt tried to start the Wash Bros. We're trying to be transparent with people. We're trying to show people what it takes to get to the next level in pressure washing, and not just that owner operator type guy. Or maybe even if you are an owner operator, we're trying to give you the good nuggets to grow to that next step and break the 6 figure mark if that's what your first goal in business is. I think that's everybody's first goal, and it's actually easier than you think it is. Um, but you want to be smart when doing so. Like I said, the Facebook thing could be gone tomorrow. The referrals, I'm not a big hit like I used to be on there, because I'm not able to sit there and read every post and recommend the painter. I'm not able to recommend the handyman. I'm not able to recommend the plumber, the HVAC guy, whoever those people are asking for in these local groups on Facebook. I'm not able, because I'm so busy, to recommend those guys anymore. So after a couple post, these guys realize, okay, Clay's not recommending me anymore. I'm going to find me a new pressure washer. I'm going to start recommending a new pressure washer because Clay's not commenting my name. It's almost like a high school little bullcrap click, you know. And I just I don't want to be the guy that relies on Facebook. Facebook is great. You want to touch the people on Facebook. You want to create brand awareness. You want to show people that, hey, I'm still the guy. I'm still here. So when they do think about pressure washing, they call you. And they still know that you're the guy. If you wash their house, they know you're a guy, but you still got to touch them, because that new hungrier guy could come along and say, "Hey, I can do it $50 cheaper. I have great equipment. I'll do you a really good job." And that's all it takes. If you're not touching your customers, there's a great chance you're going to lose them.
Exactly right. Customer loyalty is not really a thing. Yeah, we have diehard customers. We have probably 10% of our customer base is super loyal, comes back all the time. We could have a bad experience with an employee at that house. They communicate, we make it right, and they continue to use us. But the reality of the situation is most people won't use you again. So, what are you doing every day to farm uh, new customers, bring your list, get in front of your old customers, kind of resell them with emails and stuff like that, and like own your list? If you guys are on social media, you don't own anything. Facebook does. So instead of saying, "Oh, my I got all these followers on Facebook," or "I got all these people in this group that are going to reach out to me," those are my customers. Anybody can like a Facebook group. Most people don't even see your stuff on Facebook. So don't be kind of like don't fall for the scam of social media where you think, "Oh, look how busy I am. Look how many views I have." Those people probably aren't going to be your customer base. I have maybe 3,500 followers on my Facebook page. I run ads to my Facebook page I'd say every month we're probably hitting 500,000 plus views on our business page just from our ad spend and all that. So we're touching like 6 million views and impressions a year from Facebook ads in our area. So like we are bombarding people with ads, and we don't get a lot of business off of that. We get a lot of brand recognition. We get a lot of, "Oh, I've seen your ad." But a lot of times those people aren't pulling the trigger. Like Clay says, if you're meeting somebody in person, you're at somebody's house, like you're on Google, those are more direct buying metrics than say like, oh, social media. So if somebody's always recommending you on a Facebook group, don't count on that as your pathway to success. That's a great way to get started. You got time, you can be in these groups, and like Clay says, it's almost like high school. if you're into the drama, if you're into the, it can get really quickly turn into like a loser mindset. It can be a race to the bottom. There's a lot of jealousy in this stuff. These people aren't really driving outside of their little sphere. So as you grow in a business, this happened to Clay, this happened to me. We have less time to be involved in these groups. We have less time to like shout everybody out. And then, like Clay says, you'll outgrow people. And if you're outgrowing somebody, they may get butthurt and they may just find somebody newer that they can be like the guy. And as you grow in business, it's like, hey, you just expand your channels. So don't be so reliant upon social media and Facebook. You can be a guru on Facebook. You could have 10,000 followers on your personal page. Everybody can love you, but that doesn't necessarily translate to your business. So instead of taking like mirror selfies and getting all these likes and engaging with all these people and flexing your brand and how great you're doing at business, focus on diversifying your company and saying, hey, if I was a big company, would I be doing this? I always like to think when I was starting out, I viewed myself as a bigger company than it was. And I like to view it like, hey, if I'm a customer, I don't want to reach out to this guy and say, oh, he's just like a one man show. Look at him, like he's beating his chest, owner operator. Again, nothing wrong with that. But if your objective is to grow a business, you got to have a team in place. You have to think of yourself as the next couple steps down the road than when you really are. And that allows you to grow into it. So I always try to have like a professional demeanor. I always put out the like I always try to use social media to like showcase our team and our achievements, not our dreams. And I think people try to put their dreams out there, but they're not putting their achievements out there. Usually that's because they haven't achieved those yet. So make sure that when you're doing your marketing and when you're in social media, you're not putting all your eggs in that basket because it can trick you and it can trick your customers. And at the end of the day, like Clay says, if you're not making money, you're not doing yourself a service in a business. And the entire like objective here is to help you guys grow, whether you're brand new, you're part-time, or you're an owner operator struggling to hit your first 100 grand. You got to know where to put your attention and know where to put your energy and not get stuck in these chambers like social media.
Yeah, and that's where our course is going to come in, right, Matt? So we
Right.
are going to start working on a course, a really quick, good course. It'll have a lot of good nuggets, a lot of stuff that we've already talked about before, obviously, and it'll be there. You can always go back to it and say, okay, this is what they said to do here. This way, it'd be almost like a little guide on how to grow your business, how to get to that next level, and how to be successful. All the stuff that we've learned, real stuff, no blueprint, bull crap, just real like generic, like just real stuff, not stuff that somebody else has written or a blueprint or boring course. It'll just be real good stuff that'll actually that you want to listen to.
Exactly right. And I think too, like I'm building out SOPs with the like ChatGPT is super cool. If you guys aren't leveraging that, it's a very cool resource. It's like a super powered Google, but you can get it to solve problems for you and analyze your business. So I've been kind of on a ChatGPT kick recently, and I'm able to create SOPs since I have a team. So I got my employees in the field, I got my virtual assistant Ryan who helps run things. And as I am trying to shift to grow into different areas, say adding on like a painting division, working on like our ceiling stuff, like you can't just focus on one thing or the other. So like I'm creating these SOPs, like standard operating procedures, where we document like, hey, this is our process to whether it's me doing it, my virtual assistant doing it, or my employees doing it, of how we show up every day and put the numbers up on our board and are able to grow our business in direction. And we're avoiding chaos. Like as you grow in business, a lot of stuff hits you. So you need to figure out how can I get clarity and how can I show up, as Clay always says, consistently. So what we'll probably do in this is not only have like videos demonstrating what we do day to day, but we'll probably keep like SOPs, logs, and say, hey, like this is our exact strategy for our Google My Business page optimization because everybody needs to be visible on Google. In order to be in the map packs, you need to do this, this, and this, and post this, this, and this. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. And I've been able to learn a lot of this stuff through ChatGPT and stay up to date on a lot of the trends and analyze competitors and stuff like that. So it's going to be a cool resource that like I'm putting together for my team, but we also share with everybody else. So it'll be something that if you have no idea what you're doing, you just kind of follow along and just kind of model people like us. And that is something that gets me excited. So it'd
Absolutely.
be a
Yeah,
cool
we'll start
resource.
seeing a lot of business models like ours, and hopefully we can start seeing those excel as well. It's amazing what you can do if you follow just a easy process consistently. Another thing, when you said something about the Google thing, um, I've noticed a lot of these Facebookers that run their business off of Facebook directly Facebook. They don't even have a Google profile. They don't even know how to set up a Google profile. So it's good that we're going to be showing people how to do that. I mean, a lot of people they see no reason. They say, "Oh, we got a lot of good recommendations on Facebook. Why do we need to be on Google?" Right? So if Jimmy from Orlando, so we're in South Carolina. So if Jimmy from Orlando moves to South Carolina in our market and they're looking for a pressure washer, they don't know nobody here. They don't know nothing about no Facebook groups. They can't get approved in any of the Facebook groups or whatever if you're the Facebooker, and they want a pressure washer. Okay, so where are they going to go? 9 times out of 10, they're going to go to Google. Pressure washer near me. Who pops up? Okay, let's get a couple of quotes. Who has the reviews? 9 times out of 10, they're going to pick somebody like me or Matt that has 300 to 500 Google reviews versus the guy that has zero, or the guy that obviously you can't even find. So get on Google. Very important. Go ahead and get that started.
And Clay and I discussed this, and we noticed this too because our market in Greenville is extremely saturated. It's like, hey, I remember doing this in 2018 when I was kind of rolling this thing out part timer. You could post in Facebook groups. I could post a time lapse video and run $10 a day on ads behind it, and I could make $50,000 part time doing this stuff. That's no longer a thing. But I was also doing it before it was really trendy. So, like, a lot of times when people are selling you on Facebook stuff or Facebook ad this or Facebook ad that, they haven't updated what they're teaching you since when they were probably doing it in 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020. And so that may have generated $100,000 for them. But if you try to do that today, you're not going to see the same return. But these guys jumped into, say, coaching or marketing, and they're not actively running their pressure washing businesses anymore, or they never really built a sustainable business where you've run multiple years, multiple trucks, have employees, have people like leaning on you to show up every month to pay them. It's like another point that Clay says is like, it's one thing if you do $20,000 a month, 1 month. It's another thing that you do it every single month. And that consistency is sustainability that comes from having the correct marketing strategies. And anybody can post in social media groups. Anybody can get hot with a administrator in a group or pay somebody to be promoted in a group and then make some money. But the stuff that we do day in and day out consistently, for me, the last 5 years and almost like 4 something years for Clay, is the boring stuff that we show up every single day, whether it be on Google, whether it be in person, out of person, whether it be SEO. Like, we're trying to fill you guys in on what we do. That way we can help you out there. Because if you're just relying on social media ads, and then two, I'm competing with people on Facebook who are doing a $10 social media ad of a before and after. There's no branding, no marketing. I have 3,500 people follow my Facebook page. I have a super active social media profile, and I'm paying $60 a day on Facebook ads, and you have to compete with me on that. So you got to figure out how you can compete at the level you're at. If you're saying, "Oh, I don't have a lot of money, I'm going to put $10 a day into Facebook ads, and it's going to be a before and after picture of your job that's being done," know who you're competing with in that market. Like, Clay and I do a good job because we're not stepping on each other's toes in the same market trying to compete. I don't care to be on TV, and Clay doesn't do the big social media pushes that I do. Like, we all have our own angles. Clay sits on top of local service ads. I want to be there, but I don't care to compete with him at the top. So we're not here trying to like dick measure amongst them ourselves, thinking, oh, like, hey, that's the area where he exceeds in. I'm not going to be competitive there, so I need to figure out my own spin and my own angle. That way, we can both win in whatever little part of the market we're trying to go after. And if you guys are listening and can get and feel lost on social media, or you feel lost in your marketing, just figure that out. Figure out where you have a strength that you can succeed where other people are dominating. Because if you are new and you're trying to say, "Oh, I can do this," and we see this a lot on new guys or local guys who just are kind of naive. It's like, hey, drop the ego, understand, hey, there's strengths and weaknesses here. You have a different business model. Figure out what's the best way that you can succeed, and don't try to be the best person with everybody else. Like, if somebody's in their strength, don't try to compete with them there, because you're going to do yourself a disservice and you're probably just going to get yourself mad. And it's just that open understanding and that ability to reflect on yourself is what's required in business to grow. Like, I've kind of shifted a little bit where I've got some contractor buddies. I got some people and I'm leaning more into some expansion. So this is an example of like you have to drop your ego and say, okay, we're going to keep pushing forward with our drive for pressure washing. I have a sealing team where Aaron, the guy who works with me, runs that. And then we've recently picked up like I have a painter and we're going to try to do that. So I have to lower my guard, lower my ego, and not try to compete with these guys who are like Matt, the driveway guy, in the painting space and figure out how we can supplement them. And if you guys are on social media or if you're trying to do marketing things, don't try to be the top dog in that department off the bat. Figure out like the gaps you can fill, best serving the customer base you either currently have or finding a gap in the market, whether it be like going after new business that those top dogs don't want to go after.
Yeah, I think you brought up a really good point. We kind of the biggest thing with me is I don't want to compete with you and vice versa. I know you don't because we're smart enough to know that if we are doing the same thing as far as marketing goes, we're going to be bidding against the same people and we're going to be losing money. We're not going to get our money's worth out of that marketing strategy if we're both doing the same thing, especially with the same business model. I mean, we both know our business models. We could swap places for the week and still be doing the same thing. I mean, guys, that's how important we're trying to stress to you that what we're doing works with our business model. Um, Another thing is if you're lost in marketing and you can't figure out exactly what's going on, you may be a little inconsistent, maybe slow. If you don't have the data like me and Matt do to know what's about to happen in August or September or October, know exactly the trends and the ebbs and the flows of business, grab a piece of paper, write down exactly where you are, what you're struggling with, and map out what you need to do to get there. If you don't know how to get there, go back and listen to our episodes. I promise you, we've covered about everything that there can be to cover as far as making your business get to where it needs to be.
Absolutely right. And to another thing to bring back the point, it's like Clay and I don't want to compete with each other. So you don't want to compete with somebody because it's a losing battle. It's like you throw two like beta fish in a tank together, they're going to kill each other. But if they can work together somehow, they're both going to excel. And like if you are finding or if you're trying to compete with somebody, make sure that like there's complement there like it's a complementary relationship here. And like because I see this happen a lot. People are like, well, this guy's doing something, so I'm going to directly copy what he's doing. And if you're in the same market, you're going to lose. And that's you're probably not going to be doing this very long. So that's a point I want to stress too. It's like, hey, there's really no ego in business because if you're emotionally involved, you're already losing. And we want to, like Clay says, if you're lost and you don't know where to start, don't feel bad. We're all there. And even us, like I look at my numbers and I'm like, hey, look, the market's rough, but we're able to make right. We're doing commercial work that's allowing us to make up here. I'm trying to add on like a painting side. I'm trying to diversify. I'm trying to fight this. And you just like you said, you get out a piece of paper, you open up your computer, you're in ChatGPT, whatever you want to do. You map out what you're struggling with, get clarity on where you want to go and get clarity on like what kind of business do you want to run? What ways do you want to market? I'm not a door-to-door guy. Clay's not a door-to-door guy. We're not going to go bang bang on doors and try to get business that way. That's just not how both of us want to work. We want to be able to think smart and multiply our efforts. So what we are able to do is utilize Google, utilize like paid ads on social media or other marketing avenues where there's more money involved. But if you're a new guy, you may have to go knock on some doors. Just know that you're competing with every single other new guy out there. So you may not get a lot of return. If you knock on 200 doors, there's going to be a lot of doors slammed in your face. You may make one job out of that. You may make $200. You got to say, is that worth my time? If that's all you got, cool, go for it. But figure out what would work best for you. Don't just aimlessly post in social media too. The same as this. If there's people in these Facebook groups that are getting every recommendation, don't try to comment in there and you're the only person commenting. You're going to start wasting your effort. Like it's one of those things we have to be critical and analyze ourselves and our own actions and be realistic with the situation. Because if we're unrealistic and we're just emotional, you're going to look at yourself in 5 years and you're going to see that nothing is like you're going to see that nothing's going to change. So
Yeah, if you look at that graph, you definitely want to see you don't want to see the straight line, like you say, in 5 years. You want to see, okay, I did good here. I went, the market kind of fell off a little bit here, and then you want to go back up. You want to make sure you're always at that hill climbing trend.
Exactly.
all throughout business. But I think we're coming up on that 30-minute mark. It's kind of our sweet spot. We like to hold the retention on the listener. So um, I just want to make sure everybody follows us, follows our pages, follows. I'm the Pressure Wash Guru on TikTok. I'm Clay Smith on Facebook. Join the Wash Bros group on Facebook, where you can go in and you can ask some questions. You can see some stuff that we posted. Follow Matthew Jackson, his personal page on Facebook, and Matt the Driveway Guy, which is his business page. My business page is C3 Wash Bros. Join the Wash Bros podcast. Make sure you click that page and then follow us on all platforms. Make sure you're downloading every week. It helps us out a lot.
Exactly right. Yeah, as we keep growing, the more downloads we get, the more we can be seen by others. So it helps us on the ranking list and allows us to be more discoverable. So if you search on, I know I was searching like pressure washing marketing podcast or something like that, and we were able to become visible in these lists. So it's pretty cool and exciting to see that. Hey, consistency, showing up every day, adding value, just being authentic is kind of the key to success. And that's like the same mantra of our the Wash Bros mantra that we have in this as we do in our businesses. So it's just following the blueprint, showing up every day, and then before you know it, you look at yourself 5 years down the road, and then you got a legitimate business, and you're doing everything you want to do. So that's everything I got. Is there any closing statements you have, Clay?
No, just make sure that you're looking at everything you can. As far as your marketing, marketing is important. We're coming up on the winter season very closely, very shortly. I know a lot of you guys do Christmas lights, looking into do Christmas lights. Just make sure you come up with a marketing strategy. Don't rely strictly on social media. Be working on the other avenues as well. The search engine optimization and stuff like that. It's very important. Make sure you're getting your reviews on Google. I would say 70 to 80% of my business comes from Google. So just make sure you get on there. Make sure you're pounding it. Make sure your customers are leaving reviews. If you've worked with any customers previously, send them the link. Share your profile. Tell them to make sure they leave a review. It helps you out. They're looking for the most active profile on Google. That helps you with your optimization. So just make sure you're staying on there, staying active. Make sure if you haven't set it up, get it set up. Promise you it'll be worth it in the end run.
Exactly. And if you're sitting there with 0 reviews, figure out a system, see how many reviews you can get. Because like I got 500 something reviews, but I remember 2022 being like, man, I'm almost at 100 reviews. Like that's going to be so cool. And then you look at yourself 3 years down the road and you got 500 something plus reviews, and then you're in the top one to top two of the area of reviews, and then there's trustworthiness there. So consistency, show up every day, get reviews. It's pretty simple. It's going to be boring. It's not very rewarding, but every day you say, all right, well, I got one review today. Move the needle. One review today.
It's a
And then
slow game.
slow game. There's nothing sexy about business. Everybody thinks business is so sexy. Everybody wants to jump into something and think it's going to be as exciting the first year, every single year. It's a job. You show up. There's days where you feel like you lost. There's days that you feel like this sucks. What am I doing? Clay and I talk about it all the time. We're like, hey, man, I'm bored. What are we doing next? It's like, show up every day. It's be consistent. Like nothing sexy. I saw a quote on Facebook, and this will be the last thing I say. It's like a 20-year-old plumbing business isn't sexy, but that buys you a beach, like it buys you a beach house. It's like everybody wants this sexy quick fix, but that doesn't buy you anything. That doesn't make you money. Like long-term wealth and biz is built through business, and that's built through hard work over time. So that consistency, that showing up and understanding how your business operates. Remember, you want to be a business owner. You want to think like a business and not like an owner operator. So on that note, that's everything I got. I can hit the outro and then make sure to comment and follow and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See ya.